You testified last year that the banking system was more safe, more resilient. Is that still true?
I believe so, yes. I mean, there is much more capital in the banking system. The quantity of high-quality capital, Tier 1 capital, has more than doubled since before the financial crisis. There's much more liquidity. I believe the financial system is much more resilient than it was.
Thank you. Now that we know that, and I think we already knew that, I appreciate your assertion and convincing arguments that you've made for some time. Some have remarked that banks are not lending now. Is that true?
Well, a recent survey by the National Federation of Independent Business, which is smaller businesses, indicated that only 4% of respondents were unable to get all of the loans that they needed, and the fraction of businesses ranking inadequate access to credit as their main problem stood at 2%, which is an extremely low number.
So just because people
lending has expanded overall by the banking system and also to small businesses, C&I lending.
Just because people in high places say it's true doesn't make it so. Are U.S. banks competing? Others have said that U.S. banks can't compete. Are U.S. banks competing relative to their international counterparts?
U.S. banks are generally considered quite strong relative to their counterparts. They built up capital quickly, partly as a result of our insistence that they do so following the financial crisis. And as I mentioned earlier, are very well capitalized, and their lending, their price to book ratios are substantially higher than the ratios of banks headquartered in other areas, and they're gaining market share, and they remain quite profitable.
So banks are safer and more resilient. Banks are lending. Banks are able to compete with their international counterparts. Consumers, some have said consumers are worse off since the crisis. Are consumers better protected today from abusive and deceptive and fraudulent practices than they were?
Well, certainly we've focused very much on protecting consumers in our implementation of strengthening the financial system. And of course, consumers were very seriously harmed by the financial crisis, but I think we've seen a significant recovery.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.